Welcome to the North Andover Commission on Ability Assistance. Today is Wednesday, April 21st, and we're having a virtual meeting per the meeting agenda submitted to the town of North Andover. And I call this meeting to order. Can we get a list of those who are present? Phyllis Jones, Chair, present. Mr. French?
Stacy Leibowitz, sorry.
Go for it.
Secretary, present.
Jeffrey French.
Outstanding member, present. Refuses to take a title. Okay, so we have a quorum of 3 people, which is what is all required by us, by the town, so we can move ahead with today's meeting. First and foremost on our agenda, the Committee on Diversity and Inclusion. Any news on that?
No news. We've gotten nothing, not a zippo. They have not done anything in the past month. So.
Okay. Well,
so, sorry.
Well, no, we'll keep. You are our person to the committee.
Yep.
We will keep it as a bullet point option until
Something
such
happens,
time.
I'll report out.
Exactly. That's all you can do. That's all you can do. We have the special ed update, which kind of falls into the ability assistance update. We'll kind of mesh that together. We had our program with the North Andover Special Education Parents Advisory Council. Jeff, you weren't there. You would have probably watched it.
I have not yet. Sorry about that.
I think, Stacy, it went well.
Yes, I agree. She was
you know, our guest was caught a little off guard by some of the questions, but we were able to, I think, feed her the answers from our knowledge back to her a little bit so that she was able to answer the questions. But beyond that, I think she was fantastic. And as some of her programs roll out, I think we should invite them back on as things progress in what she's looking to do.
Yeah, I agree. I think that would be a great idea to get an update at some point, maybe in about a year.
Yep.
Obviously, it's going to take them some time. I mean, I think she knew a lot about what she knew about, but obviously there are new initiatives that, you know, that they do need to work on. But that's exciting. I think that there are some changes that are, you know, they're evolving. And so to me, I think there's a lot of good they'll be able to do in the community.
And we've got to remember also that these are moms and dads who are not professionals in the same arena that we are professionals in.
Exactly.
So from that perspective, we as individuals who work in that arena will know more, you know, from a more legal standpoint. But for the arena that those folks operate in, I think they're doing tremendous work and being a resource. And what I am trying to do more and more is, as I see stuff pop up on their Facebook page, just recirculating it to ours. And to do that, we have got our town manager is supposed to be coming on our show. The next show is supposed to be a week from Saturday. I reached out to her office to try to get a pre-show meeting. I have not heard back yet. I'm actually going to send another email tonight. Stacy, you said that you may not be able to make that show.
Yeah, the likelihood is I probably won't be able to.
Okay.
Yeah, because I'm
just
still going to have stitches, and I'm not probably going to be in any shape to be on TV.
Text me.
I will let you know.
That whenever it is, whether it be the night before, the morning of, I'm going to be set to know that I'm going without you.
Yep.
but just
Yeah.
text me confirmation.
Absolutely. I'm going with the assumption that I probably won't be there.
Okay, then you know what? Do we
Yeah.
want to say you just won't be there and that way you don't have that Damocles sword hanging over your head?
Yes.
Okay,
So, 'cause I've never been through this kind of surgery before, so I'm not really sure.
then
know I'm
your
still
your
stitches to deal with, so it's not going to
yeah, your
good.
surgery and your health is more important. Let's take that Damocles sword off your
Thank
hanging
you.
over your head. It's not like I haven't done the show before without you. I love having you there, obviously, but you know,
Yeah.
what's that saying? The show must
When
go on.
we have guests who don't always know the answer, and then we have to kind of finesse it.
I
We're
think
good
the
at
town
that.
manager will be good.
Yeah, I somehow think she'll be fine.
Yeah. And I communicated today with our youth center,
Mhm.
and they have accepted our invitation for June.
Oh,
Nice.
good.
And they are wicked excited. Here comes my Massachusetts Bostonian in me. They are wicked excited that we, you know, and grateful and thankful that we invited them onto the show. What I was thinking, and I'm just thinking out loud here, it really is two different things we need to show. One, we want to show what the youth center looks like and in terms of accessibility for folks who might have more of a mobility impairment. So I'm wondering what do you guys think about if either both Stacy and I, or just myself, or just Stacy, depending upon how we can schedule it, go with Cam into the youth center, do some remote footage, having them show us around and everything, and then do our regular studio taping, and giving the folks at Cam the opportunity to just kind of dice and slice.
Oh, that would be interesting.
I think that's great.
All right, I'll reach out to Cam and to the youth center in a combined email. Stacy, I'll put you on it too
Yes.
to see what we can do. Yeah, this is what I think about when I'm going 65 miles an hour on 128, you know, between here and Framingham. So we've got that. Stacy, where you're not going to be there in the May episode, in the June episode, let's sit down with them and figure out September, October, November, and maybe even December dates, so that we can start looking at possible guests.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Makes sense.
All right. This agenda has morphed so many different times because we've had to change the meeting so many times. Thank you both for accommodating that. So if I am talking about something we spoke about the last meeting, feel free to throw me a virtual water balloon.
Okay.
Did I send around the charter amendment for the town charter?
Negative.
Yeah, I don't think so.
All right.
Seeing that.
No
I will
no water balloons. I will send it around and we can bring it up again at the next meeting.
Okay.
But basically what it is the we're asking the commission to the board at this point, or the town, to rename the commission from North Andover Commission on disability issues to the North Andover Commission on Ability Assistance.
Mm-hmm.
It's basically the charter amendment for that would need to be presented during town meeting.
Okay.
So I'll send that around and we can take that up for a vote next month. I'll be honest with you, I have not had the ability to reach out to the architectural folks about the parking lot issue. But that is on my radar. I think I forwarded it around to everybody. The Mass Office on Disability had a seminar earlier this month on outdoor dining and seating. Did I forward that around?
I don't recall seeing it, but
Yeah, I'm looking through my email to see if I've missed anything. It's entirely possible, but I don't recall seeing it.
I'll then send that as well the week before next month. But because I do have it, well, I did at least put it on the agenda. It was Mass Office on Disability gave a quarterly seminar. They're starting to do quarterly seminars now and do them via Zoom.
Oh.
And this month's seminar was about outdoor dining and seating.
Wow.
Now, obviously, it was meant more towards large cities because we don't have a lot of that. But the rules still apply to us in terms of restaurant X, if they're going to do the outdoor dining and seating under the canopy, making sure that the seating is spaced the way it's supposed to for COVID regulations, and that it is fully accessible, that they have mobility impaired seating available for people, so that if you have a wheelchair or you need a little extra room because you're walking with a cane, or fill in the blank, you have a service animal. There were a bunch of rules and regulations and how that needed to be set up. The big one that really caught my eye, which again probably won't pertain very much to us out here in town, was if you're doing it right by a sidewalk, and how many of those sidewalks do not have the handicapped accessible ramps.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So I wanted us to have our antennas up. I think there are only 2 or 3 restaurants that are doing the outside seating anyway. But maybe have our antennas up as to what restaurants are doing the outside seating. And, if you have time, drop by, see how they're set up. And then, if we're finding that they're not set up based upon what Mass Office of Disability has stated, go back to the town and ask them to have the restaurant make adjustments.
Right.
Okay.
Yep, can do that.
I only know of 2 restaurants in town that are doing the outdoor seating that I've seen. There's one on 125. Actually, there are 2 on 125. One towards Butcher Boy, and then the other one back by where Stacy and I live.
Oh yeah, that's the oh my goodness.
It's the 99 for the one by us.
And I think the 99 is probably okay. But I can go check that out. It's right across from where I live.
And then is it the Cantina? I forget the name of the restaurant that, at least they did the outdoor dining last year.
Okay.
Across the street from the Butcher Boy. I don't know.
Oh, the
Well,
restaurant?
There's the seafood restaurant, and then there's
And the Loft. The Loft did outdoor.
Yeah, the Loft.
Yeah.
I thought they were fine last year because we ate there and did the outdoor, because they, you can get in pretty easily.
Well, I think because most of them are using their parking lots.
Right. It's already accessible in
Yes.
a lot of ways. So those are kind of a no-brainer, like that. And the Loft and the seafood place next to it are owned by the same company, same people. And then the Mexican restaurant, if that's what you're thinking, across, because there's another, but I haven't been over there. I have no idea what they're out
Yeah,
there.
I don't know Casablanca either.
Yeah, I have no idea.
The only other one that's in that area is the Italian restaurant that's over next to Butcher Boy.
Right.
Yes. Yes.
I don't know.
I don't know that they do outdoor.
I don't know if they do outdoors. Yeah.
With the parking lot the way it is.
The sidewalk is very small there. There wouldn't be a lot of room for tables and.
Exactly. Yeah, I can't see that happening over there.
So, there might only be a handful of restaurants, if even in town, that do it.
Yeah.
But the thing we should do is keep our antennas up to take a look. And the big things we want to make sure of is if they're not already on a flat surface, that especially for emergency purposes, that whatever tables they put to what they called handicap tables are extremely accessible, so that for emergency purposes, it's not just for ease of use, but the big thing was emergency purposes to get to somebody. They're also supposed to have, you know, at least 1 or 2 tables set up specifically reserved for handicap use. Now, if there's nobody who's waiting for a table who needs a handicap use table, because it's still incumbent on the person to say, I need an accessible table. You don't have to assume that that's what they need. Then the table can be used for somebody else. But there's supposed to be, you know, at least the 1 or the 2 accessible tables at all times.
Available. Yep.
Okay.
So another thing to ask at the restaurants is, you know, which ones are your handicapped accessible tables? Because they probably do not, if we have to deal with this for Boston at the state level, or for Worcester or Lowell or whatever, because that's who these are really meant for, these regs, and this whole presentation was meant for the larger cities. The likelihood is, you know, the restaurants out here aren't going to realize it. And I don't want to shame them, I just want to educate them. So that if they are in violation, they're educated about it. And then, you know, we can educate them and talk to them in addition to with the town manager and or the building inspector to get them to fix it up.
Okay.
But what I will do is, for your own reading, I will send this around so that you've got it.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Mass Office of Disability is supposed to be having these seminars quarterly. Obviously, I'm getting the invite because I'm chair. Do you want me, if I can remember at any given time, to forward you the emails as I get them in case you're interested in a particular topic as well?
Sure. I think that would be great.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. And then thinking out loud, one of the things that they had mentioned was that the director of the Mass Office of Disabilities is trying to get to the different municipalities to go to their meetings to talk about, excuse me, who they are, what they do. I was thinking, get them on the show.
Yeah.
Because it's nice for us to know about it.
But the community too.
I think it's even more important for the average person.
Yeah,
to know
for the public,
to know they
public
exist.
should know about it.
Yeah. Agreed.
I also want to think, I think we should look at where it's a non-election year this fall, looking at talking to our local state legislators and federal legislators to see who wants to send on a guest, whether it be the senator or the representative himself or herself, to come on and talk to us either about legislation that they themselves have put at the table, or legislation that's currently in committees to talk about what's going on. So the question becomes, how do we want to do this? Do we want to put out a bullet invitation to, for example, at the state level, do we want to send one invitation to Christina, Trom, Diana, and Bruce? Or do we want to, you know, ask one person and ask them to, you know, interface with the rest of the delegation and come on board? I want to do this as apolitically as possible because we're not political, we're government.
Right.
I would think that sending it out to the 3 of them would be the best way to do it, Phyllis.
4.
4, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've got Diana, we've got on the Senate side, we've got Diana DiZoglio and our friend Bruce Tarr, who helped us with the depot. he represents a very small sliver, but he's still ours.
Yep.
And then you've got Christina Minicucci and Trom Wim,
Yeah.
who represents the town at the House of Representatives level.
Yeah, I would think sending it out to each one of those would be the best way to do it.
Maybe one email.
One email to all four of them.
I agree. I think that's a fair way to go about it.
And then let them talk amongst themselves if they all want to come on board, if they want to come on board individually, if they want to just, decide whether or not they're going to send one person.
Yep.
Yeah.
Let the politicians figure it out for themselves.
Yeah, right. Take us out of that mix. We're not showing preference.
Exactly. I can get political as the next guy outside of this hemisphere. But this is not politics, what we do here. This is government. So I want to make sure that we maintain that anonymity in terms of that piece of it. At the federal level, do we want to just reach back out to Seth's office, or do we want to reach out to Seth and then both of the senators' offices to see who bites at that apple?
Well, we tried Seth last year. Let's give him another shot. Maybe
he has more time on his hands.
Yeah.
No comment.
No, I didn't mean that badly. But
no. We know that,
maybe there's more availability, so I don't think it could hurt.
Yes. The congressman decided to run for president Monday before our show, and but we were lucky he still sent Rick.
Yep. Timing is
and Rick was fantastic to us. So
yeah.
So you say let's keep it local and just reach out to Seth and have Seth people do whatever research they need to find out what's going on the Senate side.
Yep. I think that's the plan.
Okay. I think those should be our fall guests, because that's hopefully by then, things will become a little bit more normal in terms of how government is working. So what I'll try then to do is I'll reach out to the Mass office, and once we have our dates, I'll reach out. Well, no, I think for the politicians, I'll reach out now to put it on their radar.
The harder ones to schedule. So
yeah. And then once we have our dates for the fall, I can reach back out to them, see who can take what dates, and then work additional resources around that. We all come to this from different angles. Can anybody think of any other nonprofits or government organizations that we would really like to get on board that we haven't reached out to yet?
I'd have to think about that. The hour is late. It's been a long day of Zoom meetings, so I think
Come on, it's not even 7 yet. Give me a break.
Been going since like 7 this morning, so
5:30.
Well, no, I've been up early, but you know what I mean, the Zoom meetings. So brain fried.
Poor Jeff's trying to get 2 words in.
I can't really think of anybody offhand, Phyllis, but now that you mention it, I'll give it some brain power and think about who might be out there that would be an interesting guest. I mean, that's part of it too, is that you don't want just somebody to come on there and spout off a bunch of facts and data, because that won't hold the public's interest. So it has to be fairly interesting. Offhand, I'd love to see somebody from maybe an animal, like Zach's dog. Somebody who could
I like that.
talk to us about
service animals and what it all means.
Yeah, and their availability.
Yeah, I really like that. I think that's a great idea.
I do too, because a lot of people have misconceptions about what a service animal is and what service animals.
Yeah, there's there's such a debate now about service animal versus emotional support animal, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
And I can tell you from my own personal research when it came to, by the way, Zachary's going by Chaim now, just as an FYI. When it came to Chaim's service dog, there are a couple of things that people need to take into effect as to what the difference is between a service animal and a emotional support animal. My emotional skills were really to place for public housing. So when you had soldiers returning home, or elderly people who needed to be in public housing, specifically with the soldiers returning home with PTSD, because we've all heard about how an animal can just help in that relationship. But even that's moving more towards what's called a psychiatric service dog, which is what Chaim's got, because the animal has to somehow assist the handler with a medical condition. They have to be trained to do something. It could be something as simple as picking up your slippers.
Yeah.
Okay. A lot of people, they think of mobility impaired people, it's dog helps balance. Or somebody who's blind or deaf, the dog either sees for you or hears for you. Or maybe both. With the psychiatric piece, it kind of wobbles on the edge a little bit between emotional support and psychiatric, depending upon what the dog is trained to do. But if you have the doctors authorizing it, it goes a long way.
Yeah.
And a service dog, any animal can technically be a service animal, from what I saw, because you have to be able to maintain control of it and you have to have the dog do something. But believe it or not, there's no formalized training. Dog does not have to go through formalized training. There's no, like we need a driver's license to drive a car. There's no licensing of service animals.
Right.
And you don't have to necessarily have the dog wear a service animal vest. We got one for Chaim's dog because, even though Massachusetts doesn't require one, we got one for Chaim's dog because we were tired of, we don't allow pets in here. Well, that's nice. This isn't a pet, for A. And then B, somebody going to pet the dog.
Right.
And they're saying, excuse me, that this is a service animal. And they're like, oh, we didn't see the vest.
Right.
So,
Well,
yeah.
There are two possibles in the area. One is called Service Dog Project. They're in Ipswich. The other is Needs, NEADS, World Class Service Dogs. They're out of Princeton. So both of those are relatively local. It might be interesting to reach them and see if they were at all interested in coming to a program.
That would be great. Where you have their information, can you email that to me, Jeff?
I will.
Thank you. All right, so we're talking about having Mass Office of Disability. We're talking about having state legislators, federal legislators, service animals, September, October, November, December, January. September, October, November, December. Hey guys, if we can get all four of them on dates that work for all interested parties, we've just got our fall lineup.
Awesome. That would be great.
And I can tell you, I know I told Stacy this offline, our kids were so thrilled to be back in that studio. Jeff, if you could have seen Joshua's face light up. I mean, here's the kid, he's been with us since day one. He graduated high school, what, 2 years ago at this point? and he's still
Yeah.
coming back. And his face when he walked into that studio, oh my God, it lit my heart up as to how much these kids just were so thrilled to be back in that studio.
Great. So I'm assuming you have a new crop of kids too?
We've got 2 new kids. Problem with GLTS is they did not have an incoming freshman class last year for graphics communications. Graphics has been kind of redefining itself. But even though Carly graduates next month, I'm still keeping in contact with Brenda Waslick, who's going to make sure that we're constantly getting the kid, so there'll be still an open line of communication between her and I as we get new dates. Let's get the kids. Also, our other esteemed person behind the cameras, our normal camera 1 person who's going off to college in the fall, has stated that if she does not have anything specific going on, she intends on coming home those weekends to run our camera 1 for us.
All right.
Nice.
So we've gone from Carly, you're coming to the studio, I don't care, to Mommy, I'm going to come home from college to do your show.
We'll take it.
We'll take it. We'll take it. But yeah, I'm thrilled we're back in the studios. Hopefully we can stay there. Because I think the more we're able to do, the more we're going to be able to show people what's out there, especially where we've also got it on YouTube, we've got it on podcast. And when we have town meeting this year, I think it'll be an excellent opportunity for us to even say something when we go up to ask the town to please vote to change, to amend the charter, the town charter, to change the name.
I think we stand behind you on that, Phyllis, going up there and doing that.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you. I'm hoping we'll be in a situation where we can all feel comfortable physically going to town meeting this year and doing that. Hopefully.
Yes.
Knock on wood. or whatever you want to knock on. I don't care. Enjoy it. Do we have our next meeting set up yet? Did we?
Yeah.
Yes.
Do we have a May meeting?
May.
Actually,
Actually, I think 2 weeks.
Cinco de Mayo, May 5th?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Do we have a June date? Do we want to look at June? Or do we want to take off June, July, and August?
Well, Linda's not here, so we may want to
Table that conversation for the May date?
Yeah.
Okay.
Be respectful.
Okay. No, that makes sense. And we have the program on the 8th in May. And then I have, it's weird, I have 2 different dates for June. Stacy, do you have June 5 or do you have June 26th as the show?
I have the 26th.
I thought so too, but for whatever reason, it has North Andover Cam on that. Maybe they've got something else going on that day that I.
First date? Oh.
Let me
Yeah,
look through
I
my
only have
notes.
the 26th.
Yeah, it is the 26th. I'm looking at the little sticky
Yeah.
that I wrote everything down on. Thank God I take pictures.
So
I don't know what's going on June 5th at North Andover Cam. Maybe it's you know what it might be? They've got that annual meeting. I wonder if it's that date. I'll have to go back through my emails. If not, I'll just take it off. But at least we could agree it's the 26th.
mm-hmm.
And we'll have the youth center on that one.
Sounds good.
So, and all right, and we'll table the discussion for if we're going for June, like how far into the summer do we want to go and when do we want to pick up again and do it that way. And hopefully Linda will be feeling well at that point.
Well, I had a reaction. I don't know which vaccine she had, but I had a reaction to the second ones, so I'm sympathetic. But I was okay the next day, so it was fine.
Hey, kudos to anybody who gets those vaccines.
Mhm.
You know my issues with needles regardless. So I give tremendous kudos to anybody who gets those vaccines.
Oh, Rick is terrified of needles, but he's got one more. He's got his second one on Friday. He's gonna go do it. So
I
he's a brave boy.
I told my family that if I had to do it in order to get back in the courts, because they haven't opened up the courts, at least for the work I do.
Right.
They've got criminal trials going on now, but they haven't opened up for like probate, and the question becomes whether or not they're even going to for that level work. But that being aside, if I have to go for the courts, then I'll do what needs to be done. But I want the Johnson & Johnson one because you don't want to hear the sonic boom. Well, not even that, but you don't want to hear the sonic boom and see all the crying that's going to go on to get me.
Oh,
Just thinking about it, I get nauseous.
So it's just the first shot I got, I didn't even know the guy had done it.
Yeah.
I didn't know at all.
Yeah.
I mean,
I kid you not, I see the pictures of them with a needle and I get nauseous.
Can you take something before you go? Not that we should be discussing that on this meeting. You know what I mean, something to...
Yeah, no, I know. And you know what, I might talk to my doctor about it.
Yeah. I mean, if that's the big thing, I mean, you might be able to find a way to work around. See, I'm sympathetic because I'm okay with the needles. I have an issue with going to the dentist, and I do go, but if I'm having any kind of work done, even having my teeth cleaned, I get really, because I have some issues, and I had a very bad experience years ago where, there wasn't enough Novocaine to kill the pain. It really wasn't, because I had a very badly infected tooth, but it was so traumatizing that now if I go and I know I have to have work done, they either have to give me laughing gas or they have to knock me out cold. There's just no way. So I'm sympathetic. I get it.
Yeah, no, and there actually is, I was reading an article a few months ago, there actually is a psychiatric condition associated with people who have severe needle issues. And as I was reading through the different things that fall under the category of you have this true psychiatric issue versus you're just afraid of needles.
Mm-hmm.
I fell under that. That people who just thinking about it, they're getting nauseous. They see it on the TV. They're like,
and
people. When I had my surgery a few months back, just knowing that they were going to have to give me an IV. I mean, I was nauseous for 3 days in advance. So putting all the politics aside, putting all the, everything that the politicians can be saying, there are people who don't want the needle if for no other reason because they do have a true psychiatric issue regarding needles.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it might be worth following up with your doctor just to see if there is anything that will help you. I mean, it certainly can't hurt, right?
The worst thing she can say is no.
Oh, yeah. So,
I mean, that is the worst thing they can say.
But yeah, I'm like I said, I'm sympathetic because for me, it's the dentist, and I have to be, I have to be knocked out, or there has to be, even for simple things. I get even getting my teeth cleaned because I'm so worried about pain happening right up. And they're not going to give me laughing gas for getting my teeth cleaned. So I know that I have to just sort of suck it up and deal with it. I usually wear headphones and I listen to music because I have to do something to.
They suggest that.
Yeah.
They do suggest that to people.
But
well, maybe they could give you a shot, beforehand for it.
Yeah.
All right. Well.
And on that note,
we
don't have anybody for public comments. So.
Yeah, now that since we, our public comment was discussing our own mental and psychiatric issues regarding needles and dentists.
Good fun.
And for anybody who's listening on this audio, just so you know, Jeff French is probably the easiest going guy because he's had to put up with Stacy and I for over 4 years now.
Oh my God, it's been that long.
It's been that long.
Yep.
It was shortly before President Trump was sworn into office that we took over the commission.
That's right. I remember that.
So we've now had another presidential administration begin.
Yeah, we've been here a while.
We've been here a while, and you know what? I don't want us to go anywhere because I think we've accomplished a heck of a lot.
I agree.
I agree.
And I want to keep this going, and maybe we can get some new blood in. I'm going to talk to somebody who just turned 18 to see if, especially if these meetings continue to go virtual, maybe we can add somebody, but
Mhm.
that's up to
Up to that.
mommy to try to do that. Also, we need to check on who's got their commissions coming up this year for renewal.
I should be all
Um,
set.
You should be all set. I know I'm up.
I think I'm next year.
Because I think I found out that, where was that email? I found out that I believe Nancy had, here's Jillian, okay. Jillian is Melissa's executive assistant, Melissa being our town manager. And she had reached out to me asking me about who's going to be coming back. Here it is.
Mhm.
Okay, so I'm up on June 30th of this year.
Mhm.
So I'll put in my intention to ask the Board of Selectmen to renew my status. Stacy, you're right, you're up next year. Terry Brown, who hasn't been with the commission in I don't know how long, is still on the roster. And his commission is supposed to expire in 2022. Don's supposed to expire for his sitting on in this year. But again, we haven't seen hide nor hair of him for a while. I don't know how he is. I hope he's doing well. Jeff, we've got you until 2023 before we have to worry about you re-upping. And then there was a blank spot, which I believe that's where Nancy was. Last time I had spoken to her, she said she was going to probably resign anyway. And then we've got Linda until 2023. So really, I think the only person we have to worry about this year is me. And I'm going to send in my notice of intent to ask for re-upping my commission status.
Mhm.
And I'll wait for Linda to be in, but again, they always ask me every year that I have to put it up for if anybody wants to change the chair. So I'll wait for Linda to come in, and if you guys want to do it instead of me, let me know.
That's okay. I got enough on my plate.
I'm with you, Stacy.
Alyssa, you've got a good handle on it. So.
Even with having
I'm
a
happy
kid
to
in
be
the
secretary.
hospital for 9 months and in the middle of a pandemic and changing careers twice over. All right, it's 7:14. I always love meeting with you guys. I wish I could do it in person. So I am going to put a motion on the table to adjourn the meeting with our next meeting date on Wednesday, May 5th at 6:30 in the evening. Can I get a second?
Second.
Any opposition?
No.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, muzzle tough. Okay, we will see everybody next month. Take care.
Good. Thank
Aye.
you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.